position on a football team where these guys seemingly put themselves ahead of the team as much as they do, to the point where you want
Tyreek Hill. You want Tyreek Hill, and that's what he's going to do.
I don't think. I think that's
what he's going to do.
I don't think Tyreek Hill is A.J. Brown at all.
That's what he's going to do.
I don't think Tyreek Hill has proven to be anywhere near the kind of distraction that A.J. Brown has been.
But see, that's what happens. It only gets worse, Mike. You see, it only gets worse with these guys. You didn't see A.J. Brown doing that stuff with Tennessee. All of a sudden, gets a little bit older. He's made a ton of money. He's paid a couple times. And you know what? It's just – but you didn't see those distractions. You didn't see that. You didn't hear that stuff at Ole Miss,
right?
Tennessee with the Titans. And now all of a sudden, he's made money. And this is what you get. So it never gets better. It only gets worse.
I know all you guys. You're professional football.
You keep saying.
No. I'm talking about no. In this case, I'm not even talking about receivers. I'm just saying. I know that all of you're professional athletes. Every professional athlete, every sport, absolutely is concerned about their performance, their numbers. They're always thinking about next contracts, bonuses, all that kind of stuff. I understand it. There is an inherent level of selfishness that every professional athlete has, and I totally get it. It makes sense. But with these receivers, man, like Judy, when Judy had the big game against the Broncos, I have no doubt in a game that they lost, he walked out of there feeling so good.
Feeling great.
So happy. And he probably, had to I got to look sad right now. We lost. But inside, he was just bursting with joy. And it just seems
Wouldn't you feel that way? Wouldn't you feel that way? So just take a step back, though. So you are 20-something years old. You just got a huge contract. You've been doubted not doubted, but you've been people calling you a bust here. You go back to that place. You have your best game of your career, and on Monday Night Football, and your team lost, but guess what? Your team sucks. You're not going to the playoffs, so who cares if you win or lose, really? Does it really matter if you win or lose? I mean, at a certain point, you got to be selfish when it comes to
on
those
the bad
things, right?
teams. Yeah, if you're on a bad team.
Right.
It's when you're on a good team.
Exactly.
And you're in a playoff game.
Yes.
Who cares? Come on,
who cares
man.
What your stats are?
Yeah, just suspend all that stuff for now.
People know you're a great receiver.
Go win the chip, man.
Sometimes you're not going to have individual stats.
Yeah.
It's you're in the playoffs now. You've already got all the respect. And so that's the problem, though, and it just slowly starts that way, Mike. And then, next year you're going to have more drama when he has a 2-catch, 20-yard game. I don't know what it is. I don't know why, because you seem like, to me, this is me, okay? If I had gotten paid a couple times like those guys and in those situations, who cares? You have the respect from everyone, and you've gotten paid already. So it's not like you're chasing that first contract.
Yeah.
So,
you only wish that all NFL players could be like offensive linemen who just don't care about personal glory. It's all about the team, the team, the team.
Yep.
And we've got one of those guys.
We do.
Mark Schlereth.
Just worried about the team.
Joins us now. Good morning, Mark. Mark would never act like A.J. Brown reading a book on the sideline.
Disrespectful to the game, guys. Disrespect the game, to your teammates, to everybody. It just begs for attention. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm not getting involved. They're not taking care of me. That whatever. It's horrendous. It's horrendous behavior, and you can poo-poo it or wash it away as much as you want, but it's just bad. It's
Mark,
just
that's his way to center and to get positive thoughts, get back into the right frame of mind. He says he's done it a lot. I've never seen it, but he says he has. I mean,
he did it one other time this year, and he had like 9 catches for 90 yards or something. So he's having a decent game, and he did it one other time that we saw, that we could find on tape, whatever. Again, it's like, what? Hey, man, I've seen guys write things like on their wrist tape, like BU, or guys writing on their coaches that write it on their board.
Run the ball.
BU,
run the ball.
Be aggressive, whatever. Right.
That's going to get
at least he wasn't running up and down the sideline going, hey, guys, yell runner pass, yell runner pass.
Oh, wow.
If it's a pass, go pass, pass, pass. If it's a run, go run,
I
run.
forgot about that. God, that was
wow.
That was our first sign. That's like
Yep.
that was like the first game, and I was like, at that moment, I was like, it was kind of like one of those things like you watch and hear that, and I was kind of like,
Yeah, it's like, what did we just witness?
That's interesting. Stink. This was, I don't know if you heard it. This was Bo Nix yesterday. Wasn't asked specifically, just kind of asked how you feeling, how'd you come out of the season, and here's what he had to say.
I was healthy, got to play each and every game. Obviously, we all play with some bruises and some cuts and scrapes, but the Vegas week was just, I had a little, transverse process fracture in my back, but that week got treatment and kind of made it through to that week. Monday Night Football, it was a stretch that we were all kind of banged up. And, I wasn't going to miss the first Monday night game. So I got treatment on it, and then we were fortunate to have an off week that next week and kind of went away after that. But for that moment, it was, annoying, but we all play with annoying things.
A couple things. First of all, what is a transverse process? They're known as the kind of bony fragments that sort of help stabilize your spine and ligaments and everything like that. And if you fracture 3 of these, as Bo reportedly did, does that hurt? Is it hurt? Is it painful?
Damn right it hurt. Damn right it hurts. It's the as your spine, the middle part of your spine, the parts that stick out, the little bone that sticks out of the edge of each side of your spine. That's the transverse process. Does it hurt? Yeah, you damn right it hurts. I remember Jason Elam fracturing a couple transverse process when we were playing together as the kicker, and he missed several weeks, I think, as our kicker. I think he missed several weeks. I don't want to I'm pretty sure you might want to fact check me on that, but does it hurt? You damn right it hurts. I mean, but like he said, every guy plays with injury, every guy plays with bumps and bruises and fractures and things of that nature. So it's just a matter of being able to go out there and gut through it and power through it, and he certainly did. But it does put it. You look at the context for what it's worth. I mean, it does say something about how important the game is to him, what kind of football player he is. I appreciate any guy that will go out there and play hurt for his teammates. So I think it's just another feather in the cap of our quarterback.
Mark, should he had to have told us that? Should the Broncos have informed Mike Schlereth to let us know what had happened, and then Bo gets asked the question about his back and what he went through, and why did I mean, I do like the fact that he let us know because now we know what he had to play through, and it's like, okay, this guy's tougher than we thought. It just was kind of weird that he had to tell us that. So that's kind of where I was at hearing that, was like, why is he having to tell us this? Why didn't someone else report this?
Yeah, well, I think he was on the injury report, right, with a sore back or something. So, again, that's I don't know if it's a HIPAA thing, that you're not going to tell exactly what the injury is. That's his information.
But after the fact that the season's over, wouldn't you?
You're not concerned about HIPAA. You tell us all about your injuries.
Yeah,
you never worried about it. Who cares about HIPAA?
Hey, I want you guys to understand just what I sacrificed for this show.
Did you ever have a transverse process, Owie?
No, I did not.
Would you have missed multiple weeks like the kicker?
Dude, I wouldn't have missed 2 minutes. I wouldn't have missed a practice.
Yeah. Big Bear. I'm from Alaska.
What are you talking about?
I wrestle bears. What are you talking about?
What I
Transverse
missed.
fracture. Come on.
What is that?
What's wrong with
Rub
you, Evans?
Rub a little dirt on it. Let me go. Get up. Get me back out there. But no,
I'm hard, dog.
To Stokes' point, right? And the only reason why I'm not even going into this any possible comparison, okay? But I don't think it's the athlete's job to come out and say, hey, I just want to let you know, man, I was really hurting, and let me tell you what I played through. I mean, that's Roethlisberger stuff, right? I mean, we used to always mock Roethlisberger at the end of his career, how he'd have the clown shoe on the right ankle just so everybody could know what ankle he sprained, right?
Right.
Just so we could all know how tough he was and what he was playing through. I don't want Bo to ever, be mocked like that by another fan base. And I know this is just the first time, but I hope it's the last time because I want to know my quarterback's tough. But I don't need my quarterback to tell me how tough he is.
Right. Well, but what was the question? What was the context? Hey, man, it didn't sound to me like I just want you guys to know how tough I am. It just sounded like a conversation about what was going on. And
he was pretty specific, though.
Yeah, I mean, they asked him about his health throughout the year, and he's like, yeah, well, and that he went down that road. So he didn't have to if he didn't want to. If he wanted to keep it quiet, it was very easy to keep it quiet.
Yeah, well, he kept it quiet all season long. So, at that point.
So why now?
You kept it. Well, because somebody asked him a question, and now it was no longer secret. You're trying to keep it secret. We always kind of hide the injuries during the course of a season because you don't want guys going after you or attacking you. So that's part of the hiding of that. But now you can be forthright and say, yeah, you know what, I had this back injury, and you didn't make it a big deal. You play hurt. That's what you do.
But
I for one, appreciate it.
So as real football players, you two are real football players. Do you look at your quarterback differently when you know he's playing through something like this? And does it matter, or is it just Stoke? Is it just assumed that these guys are tough, or
no? I mean, yeah,
not all these guys are
not
tough.
all made the same, just like any position. I mean, you got guys that are tougher than others, obviously. Yeah, I know, but if you're playing wide receiver for him, or I'm sure Mark, offensive line for a guy like that, you're playing through a lot of stuff, and you look back there, it's like he could have easily sat out a week. You know that. I mean, you got a transverse fracture of the back. I mean, I don't think anybody would question if he missed a game or two with that, right?
And you're the franchise quarterback. He's got to be protected.
And guess what? You didn't.
Right.
You're like, I'm not missing this game. And so you look back there and it's like, all right, you gain a little bit more respect for a guy like that.
I always appreciate John Elway. Me, always played hurt, played tough. I appreciated the fact that, when we were running as a team, John Elway was going to run. He wasn't bailing out going, oh, you know what, I'm John Elway and I got a sore knee. Well, no, man, he did everything that everybody else did, from lifting to running to doing everything. And, that's my first impression of John Elway. When I walked when I walked into the facility, I wonder what this guy is like. Yeah. And you just watch from afar. That guy was afforded the opportunity to be a prima donna because the world would have just said, go ahead, you've earned the right. And he never one time in my career playing with him ever was a prima donna. Even though the world would have given him a hall pass on being a prima donna, he never was. He always did everything that we did. And I always just respected the hell out of him because of that.
He didn't have an office upstairs?
Oh. Did not have an office upstairs.
Downstairs?
Too soon?
Downstairs?
Too soon?
No office.
Run, pass, run.
Come on, guys.
Run.
Yell runner pass. Let's go, guys. Holy.
Weren't we all
Did you hear that he want?
What? No,
hear that Russ wants to stay in Pittsburgh now?
Oh, of course he does.
Did you buy a house?
Welcome.
Yeah, great. You're not playing here.
No,
enjoy the bridges. Maybe you can paint bridges.
Yeah,
there's 400 of them in that city.
He's got the help. He's got the need help. willing to work for play. Yeah, he's his future is very much up in the air. Let's switch gears a little bit. And I'm sure you guys talked about it on your TV show. We've been talking about it today here. Got to get your reaction to what's going on between Jerry Jones and the Cowboys and Dion Sanders and the Buffs. What is your take on all of this? Is this just innocent flirting? Is this two egomaniacs just kind of using each other for their mutual benefit, or is there something real to this?
Oh, I think there's definitely something real. I mean, Dion Sanders is a showman. Dion Sanders, and I'm not saying Dion isn't a good coach. I think Dion's a very good coach. And, I got an argument on the show with Carton today about, he's just like, he's just a showpiece or whatever. I think he's a damn good coach. I think he does a great job of delegating authority. I think he's a great CEO figure. I think he would do all those things well. And that guy's a showman, and that guy's still making all kinds of money, still has all kinds of sponsorship. And if you look at Jerry Jones said he's got a Netflix series coming out. And he said, this is a soap opera that we're running 365 days a year. Jerry Jones isn't worried about winning football games. He's not. He's not worried about winning football games. You know what? Jerry Jones is worried about winning the show, about having the show go on, having the soap opera there 24/7, 365, so everybody will tune into it, and he has won. His organization continues year over year to roll over in cash and continue to grow and all those things. And so, yeah, does Dion make sense? You're damn right Dion makes sense.
I don't disagree with any of that, but he's always looked at himself as the star of that soap opera. You're right. It's a soap opera. But he's always been the star of that soap opera. So much so that the one guy that brought him unqualified success, he ran out because that guy was getting too much of the attention, Jimmy Johnson. So I agree with that, but, man, you're talking about somebody who is the star of his own soap opera giving away that leading role to Dion, because that's what he'd be doing. Dion would become the star. Dion would become the star.
Dion would become the star on the field, but Jerry would get the attention for, when they're coming to him about wins and losses. And, I mean, listen, man, that dude's playing chess while we're playing checkers, not from a football X's and O's standpoint, but just from a marketing my company, marketing the Cowboys. The NFL says we've got a Coke deal, Jerry gives a Pepsi deal. They say we got a Verizon deal, Jerry does a T-Mobile deal. Like, it used to drive me crazy playing in Dallas. I don't know how many times you played there, Stoke, but you would sit on the bench when you came off from, your series, and every 10 seconds it'd be come to the second level of the concourse, TCBY yogurt, the official yogurt of the Dallas Cowboys. And it'd be one commercial after another after another. It used to drive me nuts. He is a marketing genius.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it. That's kind of where I was talking with Mike earlier. There's enough attention for Jerry. I think now he's gotten older, and maybe that annoyed him with Jimmy. But now, in his situation, he's still getting he's still going to be doing the radio. He's still going to have the 100 media members around him after football games. So he still has attention, and enough attention, I believe. I just don't think it's a good match between the two of them. And Dion said, what did Dion tell us? He told us he would coach in the NFL if it was with his two sons. I don't think that can happen in Dallas. You got Dak. You just extended him. I don't think anybody's trading for that contract. You're picking 12th in the draft. You're not in great cap situation there. So it doesn't seem to me that it's a good fit or a good situation for Dion to leave a great situation in Boulder. You have your brand. You wear all your prime stuff. It's all everywhere. You're not going to be able to do that with Dallas. And then now you're going to leave all of this to go to the NFL?
Well,
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, but let's face it. It'd be great to win a national championship in Boulder. Awesome. Doesn't come close to winning a Super Bowl with the Cowboys.
But he knows they're not close. They're not close. Dallas isn't close. And you're in the division with Philly, who's really good, and they're going to be that way for a few more years. And Washington with Jaden Daniels. Do you really want to get in that division?
Do you think that any interest that Prime has in Dallas is still connected with coaching his kids? Or do you think this is something that he's considering independent of coaching his kids?
Well, I think it has to be independent. It has to, because you can't project that they're going to be able to get Shador. Right?
They're picking what, 12th?
I think it's 12th. So, if you're thinking he's a top 5 pick, I mean, Dion thinks he's going to be he's the best quarterback in it. So that's the number 1 pick. You're not going to be able to get him. I mean, unless the Titans say, okay, we'll trade our number 1 pick for Dak Prescott, which they're not going to do that. You want the young quarterback. So I just don't see, if you take the Cowboys job, that you think you're going to be able to coach your kid.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think you're thinking about coaching your kid, but I think The allure of the National Football League, the Dallas Cowboys leading that football franchise, being that football CEO in Dallas with all the guy's got the Aflac deal, he's got the sunglass deal, he's got a shoe deal, he's got like all those things, man, carry over to Dallas with him. Could I see him? One, he said, "Hey man, it's very intriguing, and it's great to have that call from Jerry and blah 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 blah. I love that. I love Dallas, and I love my time there. But I also love CU, which to me is like, hey, I love them both. Let's just see how much I can get."
So, and I want to put a bow on this with this question, because Stink, you went up to Boulder a couple times during the spring. You got a chance just to watch, Dion coach, right? But without all the fanfare and spotlight, you got a chance just to watch him do his thing. And you also meet with NFL coaches every single week. Well, almost every week. Not as many weeks this season as other ones. But anyway, that doesn't matter.
Wow.
I know, a little bit of a shot there. But, just trying to be factual here. Just trying to be factual.
Come on, dog.
You'll be back next year. You'll be back on
Don't worry, Brady's
tough
going.
year.
Brady's going back.
Don't worry. The guy calls 12 games, and he gets kicked in the nuts right on his own show.
By his old partner. I mean, go
Yeah, I
figure.
know.
It wasn't even me.
Yeah.
So, but do you see Dion honestly being able to fit in as an NFL coach, as a successful NFL coach, when you see what successful NFL coaches do?
Absolutely. Dude, Dion can communicate. He can get his message across. He connects with people. He's relational. I know a lot of people look and say, oh, he's phony, he's phony. He's not phony, man. He is authentic. And what do I always say about NFL coaches? As long as you're authentic, because players have a BS meter that is, they're like one of them bomb-sniffing dogs when it comes to BS. They know. And that dude is completely authentic. He truly is. And so do I think, listen, is he going to out X's and O's Sean McVay? Nope, he's not. But he'll hire coaches that do that part. He to me is like what Pete Carroll was. I know what I want. Pete Carroll wasn't, coaching a position or calling the defense or calling I know what I want. I know what I'm looking for. These are the guys I'm going to hire to execute it. If you can't execute it, I'll move to somebody else who can execute what I want. There are plenty of coaches who have had a ton of success in the National Football League that have been coaching CEOs. And could he be that? 100%.